And we're live. Oh my goodness. Wow. I hope we are live. Actually, in effect, I have a bunch of stuff in the background that I did not account for, but welcome to our new moon in Leo. In so many ways, I don't know sure if this is like, or if my audio is actually on. So hopefully it is. But hello, I'm Elise Anmchara for Anmchara Astrology. And this is the new moon in Leo. So deep into the sun being in Leo season. And thus it is strangely like we are actually being birthed into our Leo energy very late in the game. And yet we have been steeped in Leo energy because we have been experiencing this Leo Venus and then Venus retrograde in Leo, which we are still going to be in, well, all the way until September 3rd, which is technically Virgo season. So I am going to go into the Sabian symbols. I will say thank you so much for all of my birthday wishes. Yes, I am a Leo sun, August 3rd, and I have just got to say that I have felt supremely, ooh, that's warm color. I felt supremely held by the universe. I have felt supremely held by my friends and my family in a way that I don't think I have ever felt before. I know that I have been held by them previously, but I think that I have come into my own and my own understanding and appreciation of self, stripped away a lot of the not self. So I have to impart to you that the experience of being held by the universe and by the familiars, the Anmchara, the soul friends that I have in this lifetime, but for the first time that I ever felt that I was really me, is such a tremendous experience that it is really initiating this God spark of Leo energy, which is heart centered. It is after you after you develop all the other things of being a person, a human being, that that then you start to create outside of the self, impelled by your heart space, impelled by your own divine God spark. And that is that is literally what Leo entails. It's what it's comprised of. It is literally when we already have the what I am, what I have, what I think, what I feel down and somewhat crystalline, but then really we test the level of crystallization, the level of synergy when we start to create from our own heart space into a public space for others to imbibe, for others to experience, and for us to have our own divine God spark reflected back to us in action by way of our audience, by way of those whom receive what it is that is pouring out of our hearts. And it is just like such a tremendous time. So it's really effing cool to think that right now we are having that level of realization, a reset in what it is that we are, in fact, giving out to the world by way of our own creative self-expression, by way of our own God spark, by way of what it is that our heart is calling to us to give off, to present, to create, for others to experience. And so, yeah, what a wild time to just be in I mean, I feel like we've been in the soup of Leo energy, and yet in such an enormous capacity, it's Leo and a Leo Venus retrograding, and we are in the last decan of Leo in terms of the sun's transit through the sky. So, and to top it all off, like I said, I've had my own solar return in the midst of all of this. So I just want to get deeper into this. The exact new moon will be at 5:38 a.m. Eastern time on August the 16th. And please make sure that you know exactly what time the exact solar and lunar opposition will be taking place by way of your own current time zone. But I want to get deeper into the Sabian symbols of what these things mean because, well, we have had a lot going on. We've had, oh man, this Sun Venus conjunction, this Kazemi, this I feel so both ways about the Kazemi. I feel so like because especially when I encounter a client that has a Kazemi Sun Venus energy, it to me it feels first off the most like buoyant, like the most authority over enacting, embodying one's inherent value, one's values that they bring into the world. And at the same time, there is difficulty when it is that your solar energy, your life force energy works in such close conjunction to your values, your feminine force and energy, how it is that you receive that one it's a literal embodiment of not being able to separate what one values and what one feels is valuable from that which you came here to be. So the beingness and the values, I feel like there's so much of that already being conflated in this day and age that it can be difficult. But, well, not but. And I also feel that that is exactly what we kind of experienced here on the 13th when we did experience this Kazemi of the Sun and Venus in Leo. And I think that this new moon is really giving us a reflection on how and where we can separate those things. Can we separate those things? I feel like a determining factor on the success or failure as to how well we integrate those things or separate those things, rather, is how much of our heart identity, our pride, our identification with that which made our heart sing previously and in previous iterations of self, in previous iterations of what we thought our life force, our sun, our solar force to be, how well we have done putting those things that are no longer relevant to us back into the ground. Because, well, as I'm shooting this, we are technically in a in a balsamic moon phase before the new moon in Leo. And so, man, it's so wild to have experienced so much self, so much life, so much I create, I enjoy, I play energy this entire Leo season, sometimes despite myself, when I thought, oh, I just need to focus. I just need to stabilize. I just need to, you know, I need to do more. I need to will more into being. It's the times that I surrendered this season and during my solar return that I've really received the benefits of how much, like I said, that the universe is holding me, that the earth is holding me. It's it's catching me. I am not just in the ether. I am held. I am contained. And I am also further contained by the level of connectedness that I have to like minds and like hearts. And to me, it feels almost like a cross current between this nurturing, mothering, receptive energy of Cancer with this solar force of Leo, which, as it happens, I am a native Leo sun, Cancer moon. So perhaps that is why I have felt that this has been the most, not just informative, but honestly, the most enriching solar return season that I have experienced maybe ever. While I've had very, enjoyable, celebratory solar returns, this might be the one where I feel the most seen, not only by myself, but by others. And not only seen, but supported. Supported in just the most maximally significant ways that lets me know that I can tread beyond my own comfort zones and know that I am anchored in a realness that I myself, a dart of my heart, a heart dart, sent out, shot into the ground, was received by the people that I feel are so significant and that I just like share that heart space with. And they are the ones being like, yeah, we're going to make sure that this stays grounded while you venture off into further further territory, unknown territory that your heart deems significant, that your heart feels impelled to go towards and to experience and to embody and to integrate and to bring back to us. So, this is a personal experience that I am relaying to you. And also at the same time, like I said, this new moon in Leo is coming, it's coming late in the game and in a maximally important, maximally significant time for us, especially as we've had this very deep, reflection as to what our value and our values are with this Leo Venus retrograde. So I'm just going to do some Sabian symbols. I'm going to talk about the Sabian symbols for this Leo new moon, which again will be exact at 5:38 a.m. on August the 16th. And it will take place at, I believe, it will take place at, yes, 23 degrees of Leo and 17 minutes. So I will read Leo 23, Sabian symbol, as our karmic condition for this new moon. And I will read Leo 24 as the focus or lesson of this new moon, which take this new moon in. Please, 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 please. Let everything that you are done with go into the ground before this 5:38 a.m. conjunction, Eastern time conjunction of the sun and the moon, because it is so important. I really feel that a lot of us have been just getting like amped, just like rejuvenated, juiced by what really feels like a cross current between solar energy and lunar energy and Venusian energy, to really be like, okay, well, what am I most operating off of? And what's really true to me? And what's really true to me right now? What's really true to me right now, not, you know, not even 1 month ago, but like not even 7 or 8 years ago, not even 15 years ago. Let's put everything into the ground that is like no longer ours, so that it can be acclimated, into the earth, and it can be reabsorbed, and it can just like it becomes resources to grow this new us that we feel very amped and very inspired and very exacting in, because I've just had a lot of the wheel of fortune energy coming to me, and it's something actually that cheers, boop, cheers to Sassy Scorpio Tarot for giving me that download about why all of the fixed signs are illustrated, memorialized, or accounted for, rather, on the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. It's because the wheel always turns, but we only feel it when the fixed energy turns. And so, we are in that fixed fire season that is, like I said, it's of maximal importance. We're just getting to a new level of ourselves that I'm going to tell you we're really going to need. We're going to need it more than ever, and at the same time, we're feeling it more than ever. It's more available to us than it has ever been before. So, without further ado, let me give us the karmic condition for this new moon at 23 degrees Leo. And it is, a bareback rider in a circus displays her dangerous skill. Oh my. Well, obviously, this does have a lot to do with the level of skill that we have acquired, that we have earned in the past, and that we have in this certain context in which we are comfortable showing kind of like the extremes of what it is that we are capable of doing. There is certainly a sense of danger, but also it all has to do with the performer. When that performer knows that they are well rehearsed, they are well prepared to execute this death defying skill, this dangerous skill, then we're able to pull it off with ease, and we're able to play with our audience, and we're able to play with our surroundings in a way that gives us levity, that gives us life in the moment, even if it's a skill that has been rehearsed beyond the point of it feeling fresh or new to you. There's also, obviously, it's Leo, it's a level of courage, it's a level of mastery. And so I feel like the karmic condition from which we're coming from is acknowledging a level of self mastery that has allowed us to perform certain feats in certain dangerous feats in certain contexts for the benefit and or applause or recognition of others. Um, at the same time, I do feel that this karmic condition has to do with impressing or making an impression on others via well rehearsed skills. So that's where we've come to. This is what has brought us to the point of where we are right now. And that brings me to the focus or the lesson of this new moon in Leo, which is totally concentrated upon inner spiritual attainment. A man is sitting in a state of neglect of his body. How is our physical condition, though? How is our physical condition? So, this is interesting. To me, this actually brings the focus of this new moon to a level of self love and self acknowledgement, and what is required of this self love and self acknowledgement that has very likely been spiritually and or physically bypassed in the past. It's been bypassed because we had a well rehearsed skill that we were wowing the shit out of others with. And now we are understanding that in the concentration of higher spiritual attainment, spiritual alignment, um, that the neglect of the physical self does not support the ascension of spiritual self. In fact, like it weighs it down. It's kind of a drag. At the same time, it is a this symbol actually has to do a lot with going to extremes, whether they be spiritual or physical. It could also be like, I mean, there's obviously a focus on spiritual attainment, neglecting physical needs. So right now, in the front and center, and in light of Leo, it is a lot about um, bringing our attention as well. Like that spiritual ascension can be like essentially needs to be manifested through the physical experience. So we cannot deny our physical our needs, our most immediate physical needs, our most immediate physical environment, which most specifically is our body, and also how our body relates to our physical environment. These are all supportive elements to our this spiritual ascension, or this like higher level of spiritual attainment, which we've been focused on, or that we are focusing on. So especially the fact that this fucking Leo new moon is happening so late in the game in Leo season, it is like another like kick in the pants slash like just immediately like, yeah, whatever it is that I do to attain physical support to fix, fix in the ground, to make whole, to make tangible my physical security, um, is I need to 100% have a that's Ray. Um, I need to be able to, whatever it is that I'm doing to secure my spiritual like ascension, my spiritual enlightenment, my inner spiritual attainment, as the symbol says, it needs to be grounded in what it is that I do to secure my physical security, and vice versa. What I do to secure my physical security, what I do to acknowledge the needs of my physical body, my physical health, as well as the security of my and the fixity of support in my physical environment, needs to 100% be a part of what I do to like attain spiritual enlightenment. The physical practice and the spiritual practice has to be integrated. And this is the time to do it, because it is, with the sun and the moon, the the life force energy, as well as the, subjective energy, has got to be 100%. They have to be aligned. They have to be aligned. So that is the focus of this new moon. Like, it 100% has to be integrated. It just has to be. Sorry, I'm wondering if like the things in the background. Also, this is today is actually a really good friend of mine's birthday, as well as my first love's birthday. So I just want to say happy solar return to Trey and to Amen. And yeah, I just want us to know. I'm actually gonna pause real quick just to close this door real quick. Okay. Thank you for that pause and for that moment. Yeah, this new moon, Leo, is really it's really just it's just hitting different. It's hitting different because I feel like the focus is the fact that we, at this time, especially with Venus and Leo in retrograde, and having just had this conjunction with the Sun and Venus, while Venus is in retrograde in Leo, as like the entree, is that like it's just giving us the most maximal experience, observation as to what it is that our true gifts are. And if we allow ourselves to dislodge from who it is that we thought we were, what we thought we were doing, or who we thought we needed to interface with, or why it is that we're interfacing with the people that we're interfacing with from before, if we can like let go of all that is like not immediately necessary in the present, then we will be able to just embody our gifts, and like literally be a gift to ourselves, which then allows us to be the gift to the world and bring our gifts to the world in like with that level of enthusiasm and authenticity and heart that Leo is, that it embodies. So, and unfortunately, If we don't do those things, then we may be anchored in a cycle that is technically coming to an end right before the new moon, that we might try to prolong, in which we are kind of just like absorbed in our attunement to our emotional and spiritual self without recognition of its need to be anchored in a physical self that needs to be as primed and as beautiful and shiny and X, Y, and Z as this spiritual and emotional attunement that we've been like gunning for, or has been in the forefront of our mind. Um, it might seem like that they can happen separately, but they really need to happen like together to give that level of actualization that the fixed signs embody, or represent. Okay, so the last Sabian symbol for this new moon is the quest of the new moon, and that is Leo 25, a large camel. Oh my God. A large camel crossing a vast and forbidden desert. A vast and forbidden desert. Yikes, oh Rama. And at the same time, this is so weird. I feel so weird, or like I feel so both and about the significance of the quest, or at least the Sabian symbol that represents the quest, because I know chronologically that the quest is comes after the karmic condition and then the focus, and then there's the quest. But sometimes I feel that the quest resonates more with the way to get between point A and point B in terms of like how we get from the karmic condition to the lesson. And sometimes I feel like the quest has to do more with like what the focus and the lesson of the new moon or the full moon, whatever it is that I'm doing the Sabian symbols for, like where we go from there, the after embodying the lesson. This one I really, 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 really feel is like an extra both and because a large camel crossing a vast and forbidden desert is both how we get from this karmic condition, from the a bareback rider in a circus displays her dangerous skills, to the totally concentrated upon inner spiritual attainment. A man is sitting in a state of neglect of his body, because a large camel crossing a vast and forbidden desert is like literally the journey between that person who's like doing show tricks and the person who's sitting in meditation, attaining spiritual attainment, um, while their body withers away. But it's also the way past this thing. But I think more specifically for this one, I'm going to say that this quest is the quest in between the karmic condition and the lesson of this new moon. And that is one of we may have felt that we are built for the journey that we are on, and we most certainly are. And we may have already felt that we have already been on such an arduous journey, one that has been filled with with challenges that are both foreseeable and that which could not have been in any meaningful way, you know, prepared for. And yet there is a there's a level of acknowledgement both for the completion of the journey that we have been on as well as the journey that we are embarking on, that we have to acknowledge that we were as prepared as we could have been for the journey that is coming to completion, as well as while patting yourself on the back for that completion of that journey, there also has to be a major level of acknowledgement as to, am I prepared for the journey that I am on and that I am going to continue to be in? Like, there's both a thirst to go like further, as well as a you know, an acknowledgement that we need to be prepared for like the endurance that is required of us to like complete this journey, especially if we're thinking about going from point A to point B, from the karmic condition to the lesson. You know, that the chick doing, you know, circus tricks to the person who is attaining spiritual enlightenment, but at the expense of their physical health and their physical body. Um, we have to acknowledge like how much like inherent endurance that we have, as well as the level of preparedness. Like, did we really prepare? And if not, listen, I know it's a new moon, and the new moon means that we are starting a new journey that is going to take us through the middle of September, essentially. And at the same time, we need to be aware or accepting of the fact that our values may have changed, our values of certain things may have changed, our self value, our relationship to our self value may have changed. And the things that we need to prepare for this long and arduous journey through the desert, right? What is it? A large camel crossing a vast and forbidden desert. We it's kind of like accepting some needs to go back and get it, to Senko Fa, that which we actually were not fully prepared for. Um, that really we should just, as soon as we acknowledge that that needs to be done, that it needs to be gone back and get it. Like we just need to go back and get that thing. So that is essentially the quest that we are on, and I hope that this has been enriching, and that you have gotten something from this new moon download with the Sabian symbols. And again, I am Elise Anmchara for Anmchara Astrology, and I will see you soon. Please feel free to, please like and subscribe and share. And please check out my Patreon at Elise Anmchara, as well as any wants or requests for readings. Please check out anmcharaAstrology.com. Thank you so much. Peace.
What's up, lady?
Wow, wait.